All right, welcome everyone. My name is Eric, and welcome to tonight's information session from Neotech Academy. I'm excited about this. We don't do these information sessions very often. And so when we actually do them, it really is it's pretty awesome because people are they're literally starting a new life in many ways. And I think you'll see that tonight because we do have an alumni with us. Her name is Sema. She's going to join us in just a little bit. She's going to talk about her experience. But we're going to talk about a career path which really addresses a lot of questions that people have, a lot of concerns, a lot of challenges that they might have, such as, being paid what they're worth. I think everyone deserves to get paid what they're truly worth. And I think everybody here would probably agree with me on that. Flexibility, being able to work wherever it is that you want to work and in a career that is going to be here for a long time. I mean, technology is the whole world is technology driven. I'm sure you probably would agree with that. So we're going to talk about a career path which answers a lot of those things, all of those things actually, while at the same time doesn't discriminate based on your age, what your background is, what your educational level is. What companies care about is, can you do the job that we are going to train you to do? And we have trained hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of students really all around the world. This is our North American information session tonight, but we've trained people from all around the world to do jobs in ITs. Really, I shouldn't say job because that almost sounds temporary. This is a career. This is a life-changing career. And we've trained people who didn't have any experience whatsoever in the IT industry. And that's what's really exciting about this because people, if they're serious about this, their life really does change and they start to get paid what they're worth and they're able to live the life that they truly deserve. So, we're going to address all of the questions that you would probably have when it comes to this, such as, what is the tuition? Is there a money back guarantee? And there's actually a money back guarantee. There is a risk free way in getting started in all of this. And we're going to walk you through that a little bit later. We also have a placement program. So we don't leave any stone unturned. We coach you on how to get through the interview process, how to ace that interview, while at the same time helping you as best we can. And we're actually incentivized to do this. And I'll tell you how that works a little bit later. We're actually incentivized to help you get that first job. Before we get into all that, though, write down this date if you would, August the 10th. August the 10th, 2025. That's going to be the start of our next boot camp, which is designed to teach you what you would learn normally in a number of years. We're going to shorten that learning curve and teach you everything you need to know in a matter of 6 months, which is tremendous. All right, so let's go ahead and dive into this. Oh, and by the way, let me get back over to the chat because I asked before we started, give me some reasons, or not some reasons, but give me some characteristics of your ideal job. And I'm seeing flexibility, above average income, opportunities for growth and education. And that's a lot of those, all of those boxes are going to be checked tonight in what we're going to be discussing. All right, so some of the fastest growing occupations in the world are in IT, and I think you know this already. That's probably why you're here tonight. For the next generation, everything is going to be tech related. Jobs are available in every city, all major cities, and I'm going to show you a way to check. We're going to talk about this later, how you can check this out locally where you are, just to confirm this information. You'll be able to see for yourself the opportunities that are available in your local community. Many of our students have gotten remote opportunities, remote job offers. Many companies are still offering, most of them are in IT, remote opportunities. And it reminds me of when COVID started. It's been 5 years now since we were in the pandemic, or when it started anyway. And if you recall, back in the pandemic, companies were shut down. But you know what? In the IT industry, because so many opportunities were already remote, all it did was, increase the opportunities. There are more remote opportunities available today than there has ever been. Now, why is that important to all of us? Well, because it means that we're not tied down necessarily to being in an office. We're not at a desk from 9 to 5. If you can work remotely, there are a lot of there are tremendous advantages to that, especially if you have kids. Maybe you want to go to the kids things that they do at school, recitals or plays that they're in, whatever the case may be. Seeing their games, rather than being tied down to an office, now you're able to get out, and be able to live the life that you truly deserve with the income that you deserve. And we're going to talk about income opportunities, what these starting incomes are in most cases in just a few minutes. But when COVID happened, everybody was shut down. But this proved, the IT industry proved that, you can't rely on a company, really any company that forces you that makes you do a job that isn't really available to do when something like that happens. In the IT industry, technology had to keep going. The country had to keep moving forward, so IT professionals were needed, and the remote opportunities were already out there, and they only increased during COVID. So it thrived. Is just my point. And I think one of the things that COVID taught us is that tomorrow's not a guarantee, and that you've got to have a skill set that can make you money regardless of what happens out there. You can't rely on the government, to take care of you. I think that's what was proven also during COVID. So during the pandemic, things only increased as far as opportunities are concerned. There's quick employment in IT. There are a variety of career opportunities. We're going to talk about a few of those tonight. There's easy career growth with some high salaries. We'll get into what the salaries are in just a little bit. Many of them do start out at around 90,000. And in many cases, what people are doing when they first get into IT is getting involved with what's referred to as software testing. Now, software testing sounds very, self-explanatory. So you're testing software, I guess. But let's talk about that. Let's make sure we have a good understanding of it and why it's so important. You see, companies, what they will do is they will actually pay you a lot of money as in an entry level type position without having experience in this field to test out their programs before the general public starts to use them. And you can probably understand why that's so important, because if you're a company, let's say you're Uber, for example. All right, would you want to introduce the Uber app without it being thoroughly tested? No, of course not, because you don't want it to be brought to market, get launched, and then it crashes every time people use it, or maybe the color scheme is incorrect, or the font is incorrect. So it's going to be your job as a software tester to find all of the bugs before the public uses it. So if you've ever used an app before, which I know you have, everybody here has used Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or like I said, Uber a moment ago. That's what you bring to the table. You've used technology. You know what a good app is that works. You use it and it's doing what it's supposed to do. What we're going to do is give you some technical knowledge and hands-on expertise on top of that. You put it all together and you learn with our help how to do software testing. But a software tester's role is vitally important. And one of the great things about software testing is that you don't actually have to fix the bug. You'll be given a list of what are called requirements. It's like a checklist. You'll simply go through the checklist and you'll find out what the problem is. And if there is a problem, you'll go through the checklist. You'll say, okay, is the font correct? It is. Okay, good. Does the program crash whenever I use it? Well, maybe it did once or twice. If it did, you simply make note of it, you give it to the development team, and they take care of it. Isn't that great? I mean, you don't have to fix it. You just have to find the problems. That's what a software tester does. And the opportunities are out there in most major cities, if not all of them, with high paying opportunities. All they want to know really is, can you do the job? So that's one of the things that we teach you. Software testing, a lot of people start out with software testing, and then eventually down the road, they might focus on another field. We'll talk about a few of these in just a few minutes. But we have created a career focused syllabus. And my friend Ilion is one of our founders. He's going to talk to you in just a few minutes. He's going to make this point that if you're not serious about this, if you're not serious about a career path, a true career, then this probably isn't for you. This is for people who are looking to change their life and do something different in a growing field, and learn in 6 months, as I said at the outset, that would take most people, several years, if not longer, to learn on the job. We're going to train you in really every aspect that you'll need to know to get your foot in the door, so to speak, to land that first job. We're actually incentivized to help you land that first job. We'll tell you how that works a little bit later. But again, the employers just want to know if you can do the job. So our syllabus, our whole boot camp is Zoom, just like you're doing right now. You're watching via Zoom. We'll go through the times and the dates in just a couple of minutes as well. But don't worry if you can't make it live in our boot camp. The sessions live, we do record them. You'll have homework. And here's one of the great things about this. We don't just, it's not just a PowerPoint presentation, guys. I don't know about you, but I learn best when I'm not just told what to do, but I'm shown what to do. So that's what we do. That's how we instruct. We sure we have PowerPoint. We go through and show you all that good stuff, but we also show you what to do, and then we have you actually do it. And then we let you know if you're actually doing it correctly. I don't know about you, but that's how I actually learn, and it's called experiential training. And that's what we specialize in, making sure that you actually get it, not just going through a bunch of slides and that's it. So we record the session, so don't worry if you have a job or anything like that. You can still do this. We have a lot of students who are able to manage their regular job while also doing this. Course report, which is very well respected in this industry, rated us, and we're very proud of this, best QA testing bootcamp for 2023 as well as 2024. Career Karma rated us best software testing bootcamp for 2024 as well. So 6-month accelerated course, hands-on experience on real projects that you can then put on your CV, your resume, and then we will actually help you out with that resume. We'll actually help you construct it, and we'll make sure that you can pass. You have to be able to pass one of our interviews. So if you can't pass the interview, we'll tell you what you need to work on so that when you get to that actual interview, in the real world, you'll be able to pass it with flying colors. But you start off here. It all starts with our 6-month boot camp, and then that can lead into a career path in software development, engineer, and test, what's also called SDET, a QA engineer, software tester. Salary ranges, this is the big thing. This is what you really care about, between $80,000 and $130,000 potentially. Now, because in the boot camp, you'll be exposed to a number of tools and languages throughout our program. After you complete the boot camp, you might decide to go into something else beyond software testing. Or you might begin with software testing, nothing wrong with doing that, but you might down the road decide, well, I want to do something that's automated. The aforementioned, software development, engineer, and test. You might want to get involved as a Scrum Master. You might say, well, what is a Scrum Master? That sounds kind of strange. Is that a rugby term? But don't worry, guys. If you hear somebody's terms tonight, like Scrum Master or ETL tester or API tester, and you're kind of confused by those things, it's just like anything else. When you hear something for the first time, sure, it's going to be confusing. But the more you hear it, over and over and over again, it becomes second nature to you. It's just like when you were in school, if you took calculus or some advanced math or physics, whatever the case may be, like I did, and maybe the first semester you were kind of lost, you were kind of confused about things. Well, by the second semester, what you learned in the first semester, you've got down by that point, presumably, don't you? Because you've already done it, right? And so tonight you'll hear some terms. Don't worry if you're like, I don't really understand that. What does that really mean? You will learn all of those things. So when you first get exposed to anything, or many things for that matter, you're supposed to be confused. Let's just put it that way. But as you get exposed to it, as you get trained on it, and then you know how to do it, then you're fine. Then it's not a matter of you being confused anymore. So don't worry about any of these terms. You'll learn all those terms when you start to go through the program. All right. So here's a takeaway before my friend Elian comes on, one of our founders. Just know this, guys, that your age doesn't matter. Your experience doesn't matter. What matters is to the potential employer is, can you do the job? And we're going to train you to do that. And we're going to talk more about that now as Elian comes on and tells you about himself and more about our boot camp. We also have one of our graduates who will be on in just a little bit that he'll be interviewing as well. Elian, you want to take it away, my friend?
Yes, thank you, Eric, for the presentation. So let me share my screen. So I hope you can see my screen. Okay, let me see. Okay, guys. So thank you, Adam. So my name is Elion Lemanai, and I'm one of the co-founders of Neotech Academy, and also I'm the lead instructor here. So together with our friends, we decided to create a bootcamp that it makes it possible for people that have no knowledge, no experience on IT to learn about these tools and to be able to at the end to land a job by using right those things that we teach in our bootcamp. So generally, we concentrate in software testing. That is our bootcamp. So when we talk about IT, guys, it's a broad terminology. There are a lot of things that go there. So there are a lot of domains. For example, we have database architecture, we have software development, we have software testing, we have cybersecurity, we have DevOps. We have a lot of different things, but software testing is one of the easiest and quickest way to start a career in IT and to work right as a software tester. So generally, guys, this is the flow of our boot camp. So we teach about manual testing. So what is manual testing? So Eric already explained a little bit to you what is testing in general. So testing is making sure that the company's product, the company's software that your company has created works as expected. So your developers, your software developers, they create the software, and your job as quality assurance engineer or as a software tester, they're both different terminologies but doing the same thing, is making sure that the quality of your software is expected. When you try to log in, everything will work fine. When you try to let's say look something from the app, whatever type of application it is, it will show the correct information. It will not show wrong information. So that is the job of the software tester, is to make sure that everything is working fine. So at the beginning, we teach about manual testing. What is manual testing? When you test everything using your computer, right? Using your mouse, your keyboard, right? Doing things manually. So after you learn about manual testing, of course, you can work as software tester or manual tester, but of course the salaries are low, and now more and more the companies, they're trying to right to automate the stuff to make sure that everything is done right using a software. So that's why we learn, right, we teach about coding, we teach about Java programming language. So with your code, guys, you're going to be able to write your code, and your code will test the software that your developers have created. So the base of our bootcamp is this first 3 months when we teach about Java. So you learn Java programming language, and then after that you start learning about what is programming and how you can write your code. And then after that, guys, after you learn about the basics, then we start learning about automation testing tools. So we have Selenium, TestNG, Cucumber, different types of tools that we use as software testers to test the software. And of course, maybe you're gonna hear about some terminology today or some tools that you haven't never heard. So I don't want you to be scared, but I just want you to know that we're gonna teach all these tools so that at the end you're gonna be able to write to display those tools, to show your skills to the recruiter, and uh, to be able to land a job in this career. So after you learn about software testing, then you learn, right? We are considered as front-end testers. So what is front-end testing? Is that part of the testing where you're testing the software that the user see. So front-end is whatever the user see, and you learn about testing those tools. So all this information in your application, they are stored somewhere, we call it database, or the back end, the back part of the software that the users don't see. So we have the front part of the software, which you learn about those tools, how to test the front part of the software. And also you learn about the back part of the software and how to test API, how to test database, how to test these tools. So that part here is called back-end testing. So after you learn about back-end testing and front-end testing, you learn, right? You're considered as full stack tester. So you are exposed to a lot of job openings. You're exposed to front-end testing, back-end testing, full stack testing, and also manual testing, right? So these are the technical tools that we teach in our bootcamp. But of course, we also teach something we call them soft skills. Every Wednesday in our classes, on Wednesday classes, we prepare our students for the interviews. We teach them the terminology that is used in this field. So for example, you go there to an interview and they say, okay, what are the meetings that we do? What are the, right, what is the tools that you use? And you should be able to express yourself. So these soft skills are taught on our Wednesday classes. So we teach about, right? We teach towards the end, we teach about resume preparation, about the market. So where to apply, how to apply, when to apply. So this information, and as I said, we concentrate mostly on preparing you for the interviews, because at the end of the boot camp, guys, you're gonna be at the level that you go to the interviews yourself, you apply for jobs, you go to the interviews, and you are able, right, you're able to display your skills and you're able to land the job. That's how we're going to help you to be able to land the job at the end. Also, guys, even after we're done with the bootcamp, guys, we have our career placement team. We help you during the phase when you are applying for the job. So we're gonna try to motivate you. We're gonna try to push you. Also, we're gonna try to help you and answer those questions that you have. For example, you go to the interview and some recruiter asks you, show us your information, right? Whatever, I don't know, some information that are you supposed to share with them? Are you supposed to share your let's say green card information, right? Or social security number, or I don't know, like information that they're requesting for you. So are these correct things? Should you share with them or not? So even with this part, we're gonna back up, we're gonna support our, right, our students. That's what we do with our current students. So I mentioned the tools, guys, and of course there are a lot of tools here. We're gonna teach them one by one, but I mentioned some of them earlier. So one of the most important one is Java. So you need to learn Java. You need to have this backbone of the program, and then after you learn about Java, then you're gonna build on top of it with other tools. So by the way, guys, we are teaching Java in our bootcamp, but if you go to other to the companies, probably they are using other tools. They're probably not using Java, probably they're using .NET, or probably they're using Python or other tools. It's still okay, guys, as long as you know one of the programming languages, as long as you know the logic of what a software tester is doing and how it is doing, what are the tools that you're using, it doesn't matter. You can easily switch to other programming language. And we have had a lot of students of ours that apply to the companies that are using other programming languages, and they have been hired there because those companies, they don't care if you know that exact programming language, but even with other languages, right, you are able to do the job, or you are able to learn those new languages. And as I said, we're gonna teach about Selenium, TestNG, Cucumber, which are the front-end testing, and then we're gonna teach about MySQL and Postman and Rest Assured, which are database and API testing, which is the back part of the software. We're also going to teach what is Jira software. Jira software is one of the tools that is used most commonly in the IT industry when you're sharing your tasks. So when you work with a team, you are making sure that you get those parts of the, like everybody get their own tasks and they're trying to do their part there. And then that project management is done by Jira software. Then you're going to also learn about JUnit, Jenkins, Maven, GitHub, a lot of tools here that we're going to spend some, like couple of weeks with some of them, probably a month with another one, probably only, right, as I said, 3 months with Java, which is the most important and the base of the bootcamp. So what we offer in our bootcamp, guys? So we're gonna, right, whenever we teach our classes, all of our classes are live. As of right now, you are in a Zoom, you're watching this one, and you can ask your questions. So this will be the same in our bootcamp. During our bootcamp, guys, we have our classes which are live. We have our Slack platform where the students can interact with the teacher, can ask their questions, and also we have one or two assistants which are helping the students with technical problems. If they have any technical problems, our assistants will help the students. So every class, guys, we give some homework, we'll give some tests to the students, and during the bootcamp, we have a couple of big hands-on projects. So that you can learn how to collaborate with other team members, how to share the tasks, how you do your part, and how you collaborate with other team, that how it is really done in the real life scenarios. So the tools that we're teaching, guys, are the most like current technology and tools in the current trend, right? So as I said, even if you go to a company which is using another tool, it doesn't matter if you know those tools, as if you know those uh, technical, if you have those technical skills, even if they're using another programming language or another tool, it doesn't matter because you can easily learn the tool as long as you have the skills. As I said, all the classes are live, are online, so you can watch the classes live from whatever you are at your home. And then also these are recorded and they're shared with you. So if you want to rewatch or if you missed the class and you want to watch it later, all those classes are recorded. Those are shared with you, and you're going to have access to those classes for a long time until you find a job. So the same thing for this webinar, guys. So this webinar is being recorded. We're going to share this one. We're going to send an email to you and share the webinar. You can rewatch it, probably share with your friend which might be interested and maybe they want to join the bootcamp together with you. So we're going to share the link of this recording after we're done. So also we have training and mentorship program. We are proud of our mentorship programs. We have a lot of our alumni, which were graduated 5, 6 years ago. Right now, they work in this field for years and they have experience, they're trained, and they will be there with you in this journey. They will meet with you. So, besides the classes, once a week after you learn a couple of tools, then those will be with you and they will help you during the project. They will help you to direct you right with let's say to accommodate you in this field. So if you have any questions, you can meet with them in the small group settings, and then you can ask your questions to the mentors. So again, as I mentioned earlier, we're gonna prepare you for the market. So we're gonna do a mock interview. What is a mock interview? It's an interview that we do to each of and every one of our students, one of our instructors, one of our mentors. They will have an interview with a student after they're done with all the tools, after they're done with all the bootcamp, and then they're gonna do an interview which is similar to the real life interviews. They'll ask questions. What is this tool? What is this thing in Java? What is this thing in Selenium? How can you explain this part, right? And if you pass our mock interviews, it means that you are ready for the market. You get our green light, you start preparing your resume, we help you, and then we go over your resume, and then you start applying for the job. So we prepare you for the market, we prepare you for this part. So, and again, we have a lot of alumni which are working in different companies and a lot of recruiters that we're working with. We're going to try to help you to find your dream job. So if you take the bootcamp seriously, if you work hard, and if you apply to a lot of jobs, then you're going to be able to, right? You're going to be able to go to the interviews, and you're going to be able to ace those interviews, and you're going to be able to get an offer. So also, right, as I said, even after the bootcamp, when you are applying for the jobs, sometimes some of the students, they get multiple offers. So we help them, we direct our students to pick whichever offer is the best, right? Probably sometimes you get an offer which is higher, but is, let's say, on site, another one which is lower, which is remote, or sometimes you can have contract based or full-time jobs. So we're going to help you also with that part after the bootcamp. So these are our sessions, right? These are classes. These are the mandatory hours. So on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 3 days a week, guys, from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m., you have, right, the live classes. Then from Saturday to on Saturday, on Sunday, during the weekends, you have 4 hours, 2 days, 4 hours on Saturday and 4 hours on Sunday. So there's a total of 15 hours. Sorry, there's a total of 17 hours. I'm sorry, that you're gonna have live classes. As I said, all the live classes, we're gonna do tasks together with the students, do them slowly. If they have questions, we're gonna answer. So we go slowly, step by step. Then we record them, we share them with the students, they can rewatch it. And these classes are very, very important. Besides these classes, guys, we're gonna give homework. So you're gonna spend, not waste, but you're gonna spend like, let's say, 5 hours more, or maybe depending on, or if you have a more available time, you're gonna spend even more time outside of the classes. So during these classes, these are the mandatory classes which you try to join. If not, you have to watch the recording. You have to practice whatever are taught in these classes. So during Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, we do technical classes. On Sunday, we review everything that was done during the week. On Wednesday, generally we do our soft skill classes, which we talk more about terminology, more about soft skills, not technical like coding and stuff, but more about what are Scrum meetings, what is this methodology, what is Jira tool, right? So we talk more about not technical, right, but most about soft skills. So again, guys, what is very important here? The boot camp will start on August 10. So you have plenty of time. You have more than 2 months, but I strongly suggest you to prepare for it. So if you go to our website, we have a link there for free classes. You can give your email there and we're going to share with you our free classes. So that's a platform, we call it Google Classroom. Maybe most of you have seen it. So we're going to share the classes with you there, and you're going to be able to, right, you're going to be able to uh, watch those classes so that you prepare for the bootcamp, so that the first month, let's say, doesn't come as a shock to you, right? So you still will have time, you're going to get used to it. And of course, we're going to talk about our refund, right? Our refund process and everything there. If you want to try, and if you don't like it, still you have one time to give it a try. So I'm gonna invite our student later, but I want to go a little bit. I'm gonna go a little bit over the job placement process. So how do we help with the job placement process? So we have a team of 3, 4 people which help you during when you're applying for the jobs. So as I said, first we prepare you for the mock interviews. You do the mock interview with us. Then after you pass the mock interviews, you prepare your resume. After, right, of course, you have the classes how to prepare the resume. You prepare it, and then we go over it, over your project, whatever you show on your resume. Then also we have sessions how to apply for the job, where to apply for the job, when to apply for the job, and of course a lot of information there, how you keep track of the application that you did. So as I said, every Wednesday we have our soft skill enhancement, which we are talking more about soft skills of the students. We give knowledge about market because it's very important. Even the time that you apply is very important, because that's right. If you apply in the afternoon, it will not gonna fall in front of the recruiter in the next morning. But if you apply early in the morning or whatever, there are some special times. Our job placement team will help you with that one. As I said, we have our one-on-one mentoring. We have our mentors which will help you during this process, which will help you like with these non-technical skills, and they will direct you and talk about their experience in the field. And then again, of course, we have our alumni network. Sometimes there is a job openings in their company. They share it with us, and then we suggest some of our students so that they can go to the interviews and try to get the job. And also, right, as I said, when you get probably multiple jobs, or sometimes they try to lowball to give you a low offer, we tell our students to be careful with some of the things so that they don't fall on that trap. So if you go, guys, yourself, have a look, go make a search. What does a software development engineering test, or short for it is SDET? How much does they make a year? So this is for, as I said, for US and Canada market. So also we have another info session for our international students which are not in US and Canada, because the pricing and because the let's say salaries there are different from the US market. So generally 100K plus, or six, they say, call it 6 digits. When I heard the first time 6 digits, what is this? And then I understood that it is about, right, it is about the salary. So it's 100 plus a year. Go there, search, guys. So the range is between 80 and 130. Sometimes we also seen some students that go even beyond that one, but mostly in general it's between, let's say, 90 to 130. That is in general the salaries of our students. And also I'm going to show you some of the real offers that our students got. So let me just show you those. So by the way, we have hidden the company name and we don't want to display our student information, but this is a real offer, and I'm going to show some of these that our students have received. So this is an offer that was gotten like a month ago by one of our students. They started the job on May. That is the salary. There's also a bonus, sign-in bonus, and the title is Senior Quality Engineer. So another offer by another student, by another company to one of our students is as a QA quality engineer, or right, a quality engineer. It was given in April 28th. The salary is 112,000 a year. Another one, it's 80 per hour. So also sometimes, generally part-time job, they pay per hour. So what is 80 per hour? 80 per hour is if you work 40 hours a week, it means 160. Okay, but of course, this is a contract-based job, it's not a full-time. So sometimes, right, sometimes they don't give the other benefits that another company might give. And this, the start date was in April 14th. Let me show you a couple more. Another one, 82,000 in Texas. Probably salaries depending on the state might be higher or lower, but you see this is on the low range here. And let me see another one. Another one here is 106,000, right? And yeah, different, right? Different salaries. This is another one, 90. So different companies, they give different salaries. And you see here sometimes they mention also about the sign-in bonus. They mention about other information there. Okay, so these are some of the job offers that are let's say are given to our students when they applied, when they get an offer, they share it with us. And of course we're going to talk about our process, how we charge the students, like we split their tuition in two parts. So these are some of the companies. Of course, there are a lot of companies there. These are some of the companies our students have been hired. So some of them have been hired in CVS, in Walmart, eBay, United Airlines, Oracle, different companies. And let's say we're proud of our students. We're proud of their achievements. And again, as I said, we always try to support. We always try to push, because even when you're applying, when you're done with the bootcamp, it doesn't mean that the first day when you're done with the bootcamp, you're going to find a job. It will take time. So even that process, we need to motivate them. We need to push them to apply for the jobs, to make sure that they are applying, and they are making sure that they're going to the interviews. So it looks like our alumni. So we had one of our students who is working now in the field. He's a little bit late right now. So I'm going to continue. We're going to continue with the presentation. If he joins later, we're going to invite him, and we're going to ask the questions to him when he joins. Okay. So I'm going to give the microphone back to Eric. And then, as I said, if our alumni joins, probably he's busy or I don't know what happened, I'm going to continue with inviting him. So let me see. Just one
Okay,
second,
thanks,
Eric.
Elena.
Just one second. I think
Sure.
he might be here or not yet. Okay, then. So later on, I'm going to invite him.
Okay, very good. Well, let's do this, guys. If you have been to university, and like as we've talked about already, having a college degree is not a requirement in most cases to get your career started in IT. But if you have looked into university, maybe you attended yourself or you have kids, you know how expensive it is. I mean, it's crazy nowadays. So you see the average cost for a four-year university, $36,000 a year. And if it's a private university, a lot of you probably already know this, it's 50, 60, sometimes 70 plus thousand a year. So you think about this for a second, you could you could be in debt for hundreds of thousands of dollars, literally going to school. And does the university have any obligation or any incentive to find you a job to get your career started after you graduate? And of course, we all know the answer to that. The answer is no. So boot camps came along. The average boot camp is, as you can see right here, it's over $13,000. And then you got Neotech Academy way down here, a lot less.
Eric, can
So
you share
let's
your
talk
screen?
about
I think you forgot to
how,
share your screen.
say it again, I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. I thought you forgot to share your screen, but I can see your screen now. Sorry.
Okay, good, good. Everybody can see my screen, right? So we're going to talk about the tuition, and we have a very unique system. So the way we do this is we have a very low tuition, which I'll show you that right now. And then what we do is we offer a risk-free placement fee, which we'll explain how that works. And that's what keeps that tuition really, really low. So our regular tuition, check this out, is, not $13,000 or anything like that. That's the average tuition for boot camps. Ours is 52.49. Now, what we're doing tonight is this. We are offering a $300 early bird discount. So we take 300 off, and that brings the tuition down to 49.99. 49.99. But here's the thing. We don't require all of that up front. No. It's 7 installments of 707 per month. And okay, here's the next part that's really intriguing. The reason we have, again, this low tuition is because we have a risk-free placement fee. So the way this works is, and we'll explain this a couple of times because, it takes probably a couple of times for most people to get this, but we want to we do this because we want to make sure that everyone who wants to get involved can get involved. So here's how this works. We will do everything we can to help you land that first job in the IT career. The placement fee works like this. It is 85% of your first month's salary after you find a job. Only after you find a job. You don't pay this if you can't find a job, and it's in 4 monthly installments. It's not your entire first year or anything like that. It's, let's say, for example, you were making 120,000. Let's say we help you land a job hypothetically that pays 120,000. So that's what, 12, it's 10,000 per month, right? 12 months, 10,000 per month. So 85% of that first month, that's 8,500, but it's divided into 4 monthly installments. All right. So 85% of your first month's salary after you find a job, and it's not paid all at once. And what we do is we want to bring the tuition down even more for you to even make it more accessible. So if you are referred by a Neotech student, let us know. If you are referred by an alumni, and we can get you an extra discount. We also encourage people to sign up in groups. So groups of two, each student gets $150 off. Groups of three, each will get 200 off. If it's groups of four or more, which has happened a few times, get in touch with us and we'll let you know what we can do for you, what we can work out. But the reason why this is good is because you can encourage each other, you can motivate each other, you can help solve problems, you can do homework together. And we always like to describe it as, it's kind of like going to the gym with your buddy, to encourage you to do that extra lift. What if I change my mind later? Like, let's make sure we have a good understanding of this. Well, guys, there's no deposit. There's no application fee. You don't pay anything until the boot camp actually begins. You start paying when the classes begin, not before, and you can cancel for free anytime until the boot camp starts. We have a 30-day money-back guarantee. It's a 100% refund if you decide to leave until you complete your first month. So you can't go wrong with this. And what I always like to say is that we're the ones taking all the risk here. We're taking the risk. It's risk-free to you. So we're going to give you the education. We're going to give you the hands-on expertise that you need, help you land that first job, do everything we can to get your foot in the door to land that first job, to get that first job in this new career, and really get your life changed. To learn more about the boot camp, here's how it works, folks. Go to neotechacademy.com/bootcamp or book a call with our admissions team, neotech.live/call. If you're not ready to give us a call, that's fine. Submit your interest by simply going to neotechacademy.com/apply. If you want to call us, you can call us as well. If you want to do it, I guess you would call it almost the old-fashioned way, right? Just giving us a ring, 929-566-3919. Email us for any questions, and we're not done yet, so don't get off with us yet. We're going to take your questions in just a few minutes, but if after the presentation you still have some questions, reach out to us at team@neotechacademy.com. You can also schedule a phone call at neotech.live/call. So why join Neotech Academy? Let's do a comparison. Let's say that you want to do things yourself. You're going to be self-taught or go to university and spend all the kinds of money like we were talking about a moment ago. And yeah, some people do get a scholarship. I two of my kids have gotten scholarships, and and that can cover a big part of your expenses. But there's downside though to university. It's not just the cost. When it comes to the IT field, it's not very interactive. The time is 4 years or more. With us, it's 6 months. It's hands-on, and we don't have a boot camp that's full of fluff either. I mean, our boot camp is designed from by people, like Elion, for example, people that are out in the real world doing this. So they're out in the real world doing it, and so everything that is in the boot camp is relevant to what you need to know today, not 5 years ago, not 10 years ago, or anything like that. Also at university, since we were talking about that a moment ago, it's career services, very limited. Usually, the learning content is very theoretical. I always say, I had a business professor that had never been really involved in business before. And that's what happens a lot of times in university. Learning community, well, there may not be one at university. The students could be there could be a lot of students. The ratio can be pretty big as far as students to faculty. Tech support very limited. If you're self-taught, well, who knows how long it's going to take you. You're learning by yourself. You're in effect saying that you are the industry expert. You're not going to have all the amenities that we have. Online courses, self-paced, unsupervised. The learning content, well, is it going to be market driven like ours? Maybe, maybe not. And when people are left to their own devices to just do things on their own, it's by nature, people by nature procrastinate about things. Just like people who are looking to get involved with IT and they're like, man, I've heard about these boot camps before, and this one sounds really good, but they just put it off, not realizing that, what's going to be different a year from now? What's going to be different even 3 months from now or 6 months from now? Probably not a whole lot. So people who are thinking about getting this done on their own or taking online courses, they usually never do it anyway. And what they are learning might not even be relevant because you're saying effectively that you're the expert when right now you're not the expert. So, but here's what I want you to think about for a second. Think about where you are right now. Not really, and I don't mean this as an insult, but not really knowing much about IT right now. And imagine where you could be 6 months after the boot camp starts on August the 10th. So imagine where you are right now, not really knowing much of anything about what we're talking about tonight. And then in 6 months being almost an expert, knowing enough to actually get in to land that first job, which we're going to help you do. We're going to help you land that first job potentially. All right. So why Neotech Academy? I hope you're seeing this tonight, guys. We're passionate about what we do. We're very motivated in helping our students. And, I always like to point out this is all that we do. you know, we're not, my little joke is we're not Neotech Academy, for IT and, bartending school or truck driving school or something like that. All we do is focus on training people to go into the IT field, and 99% of them didn't have any type of IT experience prior to taking our boot camp. So we're going to shrink that learning curve for you in 6 months. That would normally take you years to learn. Our program is tested and proven. We have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of students around the world. We've got the credentials as far as our the awards that we have that I went through with you a little bit earlier, best QA, quality assurance at boot camp, 2 years running. We constantly work on guiding our students toward the best jobs in the market, and we're here to help you build your career from the ground up. So, like I was saying earlier, and Ilian was saying, if you are not thinking in terms of changing your life, if you're not thinking in terms of a new career, this probably isn't for you. But if you really want to change your life, and live the life that you deserve, get paid what you deserve, be able to have the flexibility you deserve, you're in the right place. Take advantage of it, guys. Don't let procrastination get a hold of you. And we're gonna come back over here because I think our alumni, our guest, is here with us now. Is that correct, Elion?
Yeah, it's correct. So
Okay.
yeah, we can invite him, and so this is the time for you guys to ask questions to him. So I'll invite Yildirim if you can share your video, and if you can stop sharing, Eric, I can continue with Yildirim.
Very good. Very good.
Okay, thank you, Eric, for the presentation. Yildirim, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you doing, Gillian?
Good,
How's
good,
it going?
everything right. So thank you for joining. So it was a little bit late. Sorry to we informed you a little bit late. So
That's
we
all
have
right.
some prospect students here that might join the boot camp. And by the way, guys, Yildirim, he was one of our students some couple of years ago. He's also one of our mentors right now, and he's working as a software engineer, like software testing engineer for, as I said, for a couple of years. If you have any questions, you can direct it to them. I'm gonna ask some questions that generally are asked in this kind of sessions. But guys, please use the chat section of Zoom to ask your questions to Yildirim, and I'm gonna direct your questions to him. So Yildirim, if you can share your couple of minutes, your experience with them. How was your experience during the boot camp? After the boot camp, when you were like looking for a job, now that you're working as a software tester, and again, as I said, I'm gonna get their questions and ask them.
Yeah, yeah, first of all, hello everyone. Good luck about your journey here. So I want to say, like I studied economics back in my country, and I didn't know anything about computer before I started. I was scared, actually. I was afraid of starting this boot camp. But after a while, actually, our teachers, Sabah and Elian, and also all the others, all the mentors, like helping you a lot. They are giving you best to so you can learn. I was scared to learn actually Java, but you guys will get a example classes that you guys can practice before the bootcamp starts. So it's gonna help you a lot. That's what I did. There is gonna be like 10 classes, and if you guys go over those, I think the first 10 classes is gonna be so easy for you guys. So you guys are not going to get scared when you guys face with the Java, because most of you, I guess, is not going to be maybe most of you guys doesn't know how to work with the computer like me. For me, so it wasn't that hard because I studied a lot. I was like studying 10 hours a day. I wasn't working during the boot camp. I put everything I had in my hand, and it was becoming more easier if you put your mind into it, and if you actually listen your teachers, because they are telling you they know what you have to do. So if you listen to them, I think it's gonna be easy. And at the end of the bootcamp, you will have lots of skills, Java, Selenium, Cucumber, and all that. Those are all in the market, like the very common testing tools and the frameworks on the market. So they are teaching you that. So whenever you graduated, whenever you started applying a job, I think you will face with it. You will understand, oh, okay, they are right to teach this. And I don't know what else to say. And I'm so happy that I've been working as a QA automation engineer. Actually, I started my career as manual tester again. They hired me as a manual tester, and you will learn automation testing here. So even if you join the company as a manual tester, you can tell them, hey, I have the automation skills. I can show you guys. I can create the framework from the scratch for you guys. This kind of thing is gonna take you higher into your career. That's what I did here. And they will move you in an automation team maybe, and they will put you in an automation team, and they will want you to learn maybe another programming language, or maybe they will continue with the Java, those kind of things. And it's actually, yeah, before the bootcamp I was doing some Uber driving and DoorDash and all that, and I was like, it's been like I was in United States for 5 years, and I heard this boot camp from my friends, and they found a job, and I was like, okay, maybe I can do this too. And I think that's what that's what you are doing. That's what you are doing right now. Yeah, that's all I can say. I mean, if you guys have a specific question, I can.
Yeah,
Uh,
until yeah. So one of the things is, are you still at the first job that you landed, or did you switch to another job?
I'm still with them.
It's their first job, and like how long did it take for you after the boot camp to find a job?
Yeah, so right after the bootcamp, I went to Turkey, but I was still applying, but I was also taking some rest. And after I came in USA, it took like 2.5 months or something like that.
Took a couple of months to find the
Yeah,
job, and
couple of months.
then did you was your job like on site or was it remote, or did you have to let's say what happened with your job?
So it was remote first, and before the COVID, actually, all the jobs was about remote. But after the COVID, the companies are like getting like actually calling their coworkers to work on site. I mean, my company, like they told me, I mean, it was a contract. It's a contractor company, right? They told me it's gonna be remote by my end client I mean, the original company told me that, hey, we want everybody to work in the office. So, and then after maybe 3 months, I moved in California, but I
Mm.
was in Maryland at
So you
first.
relocated to that
Yeah,
company.
I relocated the job.
Okay, good. And then, so what was the most difficult part for you, let's say, during searching for a job? Was it the soft skills or was it the technical part?
So, so this is going to be depending on the questions that you will have in an interview, right? So some companies are asking more technical questions and they want more technical guy, and some companies they don't care because they are looking for a qualified candidate for them. And you will see that maybe you will see that some companies like they will ask you so easy questions because they decided to already hire you because they looked at your resume and they said that okay, this is the guy that we will hire, and they are not going to give you a hard time whenever you are having the interview with them, right? But some companies are like giving you a hard time because they already hired somebody maybe.
Yeah.
uh, they're asking you a hard question, maybe hard technical question, maybe hard SQL questions, maybe hard API questions. But if the company likes you already, they will, even if you give them a wrong answer, they will say, okay, that's fine, right?
We
They
can
will,
say it's also a little bit of luck, let's say, right?
yeah, of course, of course.
Definitely. And we have a question that we get almost in every info session. So, do you think AI will affect this business in the future? What do you think? According to your
Yes.
experience, of course.
So what I what I think, I mean, of course, AI is going to affect, but it is not going to affect your job because you have to learn AI. You have to learn how to work with AI. Those person that who doesn't know how to work with AI, yes, they will eliminate them because you don't know. You cannot. I mean, you have to go with the technology, right? You have to follow the technology, even if right now, right? Right now, the cucumber is you. That's the tool that you are going to learn, but there is another other tools right out there, like Playwright, Cypress, or blah blah blah. You will keep continue learning, so it's not going to stop. Okay, we know Selenium, Cucumber, or Java. Okay, it's not going to be enough, right? So even my company, right? I'm learning another tool, UiPath or whatever. The AI is the same thing, right? So what my company's perspective is, uh, they want to use AI so they can make the process faster. They don't want to eliminate me. Hey, AI is coming. I'm gonna let you go. No, this is not happening. They want me to learn
So the
AI.
short, let's say the short answer is AI will not replace us, but we need to learn AI as an extra tool, right?
Of course,
How
yes.
to use AI because it will help
You,
us in our jobs.
of course, it is going to make the process faster. So,
Okay. So another question by Gizem is she's currently living in Kansas City, Missouri. And so that's a small city, probably like maybe not a big job market. Do you think she will need to relocate there? Or maybe will she be able to find online jobs? Of course, always it's just from your perspective.
Missouri, I think I saw some on the market about Missouri, but so the thing is, that's gonna be a lack, right? Maybe some job is gonna be opening in your state, and maybe you are gonna be the person that they will hire, but it might not be you. I mean, I cannot say you will have to. It's a 50% chance and the 50% of your knowledge. And I mean, I don't know how to answer this
No, no,
question.
you're not making any promises. So according to your
Yeah.
experience, you're saying probably there might be job openings there, even though that's a small city, probably not too much. Probably there might be remote jobs, or if she's open to relocate, then she'll have even more opportunities, right? Something like that.
Yeah, I would say I mean the big cities of course big cities are has more opportunities than the other ones. Big states actually California, New York, Chicago or Texas, they're in Florida, sometimes Ohio, right? Ohio is not a big state, but lots of lots of job opportunities out there because maybe there is not enough people applying or something like that. Uh, but yeah. You might have to, you might not have to.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
of course, it's always a luck. And we sometimes, guys, it happened a couple of times. Let's say from a small state, they wanted somebody to work on site, and they shared us like our alumni. They shared it with us, and we suggested to the others, and there was nobody in that state. So and people didn't want to move there. But also this big state, it's also they have more expenses. And let's not forget about it. So expenses in
Yeah.
Missouri are not the same as expenses in California. So that's also another thing there to consider. So another question from Medina is how much automation you need to learn and how much like will you use in your company? If you can give a quick example.
Um, so how much to better understand how much automation we will need? I mean, this is going to be enough because so you guys will understand. You guys will understand that okay, if you learn Cucumber or if you learn Selenium, the other tools are going to be almost the same. The Selenium is the father of the testing tool, web automation testing tool. That's why this bootcamp is teaching you. So you will understand easily Playwright because it's the same thing. They are launching the browser and the Selenium is launching the browser too, right? They are testing the website. They are testing the buttons are clickable or not, or maybe some web tables or maybe some employee lists, right? If they are there or no, if the some buttons are visible or no, right? It's going to be the same thing. So this is going to be enough, whatever they are teaching you, and we'll give you a quick automation. So so automation could be about testing or could be about workflow automation like I'm doing. Um, so I can give you, so for example, with the marketing team, I'm helping the marketing team about smile generation website. Let's say we are testing the review section. For example, on the review section, we have to keep the only 4 stars or the 5 stars reviews, right? There could be no 3 star, 2 star, or the 1 star on our dashboard, right? That's the review section, and we cannot let it that way happen. And that's what I'm testing, right? I'm actually locating the web element, right? Those stars or those reviews, and that reviews cannot be empty, right? There is gonna be something. So you are going to use whatever they are teaching you here, Java, right? String.empty or is empty or whatever, right? So it's supposed to not empty, right? That review section cannot be empty. So you are going to use it over there, and also that stars and also when you locate that web element, there is a like 4 star. Yeah, I mean, there is a number, right? Even if maybe Selenium is like hard to automate pictures, but if you can get the attributes of the web element, like with the JavaScript executor, it is going to give you more options. So you
Yeah,
can get the
I
number.
think you're like in an interview right now trying to give me an answer. So the thing is, the short answer is that whatever we teach in the bootcamp, those are
Yeah.
enough tools for you to in the market. But of course, if you go to a company that are using other tools, you're gonna learn more and you're gonna use them, and definitely you're gonna be at a level that you can create the project. You can be like create a project from scratch, right? So that is one of the things that we learned. So we learned step by step, and then at the end you were able to create the framework of the project from scratch. So
Yeah.
let's not go too much into details because then we're gonna lose most of the people here because there are technical
Yeah.
things.
Sure, sure.
So what about the salary? Was it, since you said you started as manual tester, did you start at 6 figures, or or
Yes.
or how
It
long
was
did it take for you to, I did you get any promotion or something there?
it was over 100,000. It is over 100,000 because it's in California, so it's supposed to be over
So you started
100,000.
as manual tester, but you already had the automation skills, and they said that in the future you're gonna also do the automation, right? That's what they talked.
Yes. Yes. I was originally hired for API testing for the integration team.
Mhm. But
There's
at the
no,
beginning they gave you manual testing
yes.
because they didn't have the tools for the API, right?
Yes. Yes. You should never start with the automation directly because you need to understand what is going on in the company, right? What is the application is doing.
Yeah, I think we lost Yildirim. Probably his internet or maybe his phone died, but it's okay. So we got some of the answers from him, guys. And if you have any questions, I can answer your questions. I don't know why we lost Yildirim, but probably his phone died or something. So that is, do you offer real companies in internship? So
Sorry
our
about that.
bootcamp is not about, right? So sometimes they ask us about, do you give in a certificate or something? We give the certificate, but the purpose of the bootcamp is for you to be able to find a job at the end. If you find a job, we are successful. If you don't find a job, it doesn't matter. And so those internships and those things are only if you cannot find a job. So Yildirim, I think we lost you, but now you're back.
What I was talking about, I forgot.
Yeah, yeah. So you were talking about if it was 6 figures or not,
Oh
and
yeah.
yeah, and
It, it is 6 figures. And yeah, you start with the manual testing and then go with the automation if you show them your skills.
okay.
Do
Did
you
you,
offer you?
did your company ask or require you to move to Cali? Yeah, he explained he had to move there because his company, your company wanted you to move there. Your end,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it
So
was
sometimes it happens, as I said, like normally, right? When you are hired as remote, then you're always gonna like you're gonna be remote, but it depends on the company. They suggest you probably sometimes they give you an extra. For example, I had a student here in New Jersey, and her company was sold to another company, and now the new one they required people to go to New York, but she's like, I don't want to travel to New York every day. She didn't want to do it, and they said that the salary here for her working in New Jersey was 110, and if she goes to office, they're gonna raise $25,000. And even with that raise, she didn't accept. She said, "You know what? It's better for me to work from home and with 110 than going to New York every day with 135." And that's how she continued. But of course, sometimes the companies they might change their style, and it depends. By
yeah.
the end of the year, AI will be away in different place. How's your game plan to integrate to this change? Okay, a good question by Adam. So AI is moving, is expanding. So what is your plan? What is your suggestions here?
Like I said, I mean, there is so first of all, you have to know what is AI. So if you ask this question, you have to know that there is generative AI, there is agentic AI, there is another AI, right? So one is like generative AI. That's the AI that you are using to generate something like ChatGPT, right? And agentic AI, like that is a chatbots, right? So when you get in the website, it is telling you, hey, what do you want to do here? And you're telling, hey, can you take me here? And it is taking you there, right? That's a chatbot and that's a agentic AI. And also there is in Los Angeles, there's a Waymo, right? Waymo or something. So that's uh, um, agent. Yeah, that's agent AI is a chatbot and agenting AI. There is no human interaction. That's agenting AI, right? That's the purpose of the AI. So there is going to be no human interaction, and it is whatever they are building, they're going to do the stuff without no human interaction. So when you say this, the AI, what I think is to be able to create something like this that is going to take the decision of the company, right? Because that's a big risk, right? Because if you let the AI and take the risk and make the decision by instead of the people, instead of the real person, I mean there is a risk, right? So they are not creating something like that to replace the person. Like I said again, uh, they are creating the AI so your job can be more easier, right? That's the main purpose. So what I do is I'm learning AI powered tools, right? And the modern tools, right? They are telling you to learn AI powered tools, modern tools, right? But this is the starting point, right? Starting point is starting with the Selenium. So AI, of course, there is some tools like you don't even need to locate an element because it is locating the element by itself. But you have to know where it is coming from. If you don't know where it is coming from, whenever you have a problem, you are gonna struggle, right? You have to go back and search it. But if you know Selenium, that's a Selenium without no AI, right? Then you know where the problem is coming from, and you know where to go back and check where the problem is coming from. Something like impact analysis or root cause analysis, right? When you have something. So this is what I think. So you have to go with the AI. I was gonna say like when I talk about AI, learn how to work with the AI, ChatGPT, because you will need it, right? You have to know because so Java, if you ask him, right, if you ask him right now, it can give you everything, but you have to know Java because you have to pass the interview, right? And during the bootcamp, try to stay away from the chat GPT because you can get all the answers. That doesn't make sense, right? Because okay, then why are we here, right? You have to solve it by yourself. But after the bootcamp, like focus on ChatGPT too, because you can ask, hey, what kind of question can get? Okay, share the job description to ChatGPT, and it can give you, hey, this kind of questions you will get in the interview, this kind of API questions, or this kind of database or UI, right?
Yeah, the same thing we have with our kids. So my kids are going to school, middle school, high school, and sometimes they can find the answer of everything through ChatGPT. But still, they need to learn so that when they get the answer from ChatGPT or whatever, like any AI tool that they're using, they need to know, right, if it's correct or not, how to adapt, how to make the changes. So they need to learn AI. They use AI so to get information quicker, probably, but still at the end they need to be right. They need to be able to know those things, and they need to be how to be able to know how to use these tools properly.
There
So
is
I
a
think, yeah, that's the same thing, right? We can go over and over again. Everybody's scared about AI, but as we always say, learn that one because you're gonna, right, you're gonna use that tool. You're gonna use that tool in
course.
your job and everywhere.
Yeah.
So Yildirim, I'm gonna get the last question and then we can wrap it up for today. So do you observe that a lot of jobs available are contract work rather than being direct employed with a company? So what is your, like, are there mostly direct
Uh,
contract jobs?
so there's lots of full-time job and there's lots of contract job, but some companies are like more they are trying to put themselves in a more safe part because instead of instead of directly hiring you as a full-time because they don't know you, right? They don't know you if you're going to be able to handle their job or not, or what is your skills. Okay, you passed the interview, but how is your personality at work? How is your team collaboration and all that, right? They will see that after you join the company. So that's a risk for the company. So they are, I mean, what I think is like they're trying to hire you as a contractor, and then when you perform uh perform well whatever they're expecting from you, then they will convert you as a full-time. But sometimes it's not happening because the company, if you so the companies are different. Like if you join the company, big company, then they might find you headcount, right? But if you're joining startup companies, like they're struggling, maybe they don't know what they're doing, and sometimes it might end up you still be, after 2 years or maybe 3 years or maybe 1 year, you still might be a contractor. But what I can say is like 50 50, I guess.
Yeah, and a lot of companies, as you said, like this
Yeah.
is very, very good information. Some of the companies they want to be on the safe side. That's why they want to try you through the contract, and then they give you a full time, may give you a full time offer like in 6 months or one
Yeah.
year. And I have a lot of students that they switched from, or probably they find another job during this time, and that's also another way to find a path in this career.
Yeah, of course. I mean,
Yeah.
all I want to say one more thing. Just be patient. Whenever the bootcamp is done, you will be ready. You don't need to be hurried, but just settle down. And I understand. If I was you, I will do the same thing. You know what I did. But if I was you right now, I would go. I would understand like what they are trying to explain to me. Right? You don't have to know everything about Java. You don't have to know everything about what they explain it, but you have to understand the idea. Hey, why they are explaining to me this? If you understand the idea, if you put the concept into your mind, then you will be more clear than uh, the person that who's trying to learn everything, right? Because you cannot learn everything. You have to understand the process. You have to understand the, behavioral side and the technical side, and you need to combine them. And then so you can explain, this is happening, this is happening. And you need to be open-minded, like you need to be free mind whenever the interview is happening, and because they're asking you a question and you are nervous, you don't need to be nervous. Like you just hear the question and try to relax, but give them a like reasonable answer, right? That's gonna be.
Thank you. You're using your
Yeah.
mentor skills, trying to motivate them, even though they didn't start the boot camp yet. You're teaching them how they behave in the interviews. But
Yeah.
thank you very much for joining, Yildirim, and for sharing your experience. It was very like meaningful and a lot of informational things that you gave here. Thank you so much for joining, and I think we can wrap it up here and we can
Yeah, sure.
close.
I thank you.
Have a good night, everyone, and I hope to see you in August 10th.
Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate it for inviting me here, and good luck to your journey, everyone.